everybody, thanks for watching. Welcome to my very first tutorial. Bit excited about this one, but also very nervous. So please forgive me if I make a few stuff-ups along the way. I will do my best and I hope you actually enjoy this tutorial and get something out of it. Okay, so just before we get started, I just wanted to let you know that if you are hearing cars driving past, unfortunately there's some roadworks happening just up the street here and they've directed all the traffic past our lovely house. So I apologise if you hear that. We will try to work on it, but if you do hear the occasional car or unfortunately truck driving past, we've done our best to try to deal with that. So fingers crossed it's not too much of an issue. This particular tutorial is aimed at beginners, so this headscarf that we'll be making today consists mainly of slip stitch, chaining, single crochet and double crochet. So hopefully you're already aware of how to make those stitches, but if you're not, that's okay. I'll show you how to make them as we go along. If you're an intermediate crocheter and already know how to make those stitches, you can check out the timestamps below and just skip to the bits that you'd like to see. We'll also put the written pattern down in the description below so you can just follow along from there. For today's tutorial, I'll be using a 5mm crochet hook and I'll be using some cotton from the Bendigo Woolen Mills. So I recommend that you use cotton for this particular project just because of the wearability of the cotton and the finished drape. It always looks a lot better. As long as your tension's not too tight and the stitches aren't too stiff, it should work out with a really nice drape to it. So as you can see, this is cotton, but my tension was a little tight when I made this, so it's a little stiffer than I thought. However, it has a lot more wearability. You can wash it a lot more often than you can with acrylic, and it just shows the stitch definition a lot more. The stitch definition is a lot more defined. So I would recommend using a cotton for this project. So again, I'll be using this Bendigo Woolen Mills 8-ply cotton. I think this might be the boysenberry colour. It looks very similar to boysenberry. So I'll be using this from Bendigo Woolen Mills. It's a beautiful soft cotton and the drape is quite lovely with this. There's also a few other cottons that I could recommend. So a nice Annette Erickson. This is a cotton blend. This is 55% cotton and 45% polyester. It's a beautiful colour. That colourway is called Happy. So this is another one that works up really quite well for this particular headscarf. And the other cotton you can use is a 4 Seasons Flinders. You can get this from Spotlight. It's normally about roughly $3 to $4 per ball. And that's another 8-ply cotton there. So it's a 50-gram ball. That's all you would need to make this scarf. Just a few recommendations for you there. So grab your cotton, grab your hook, and a nice hot cup of tea, of course, and let's get started. So this particular headscarf was made using the Yarnspirations Karen cotton cake. I actually got 2 headscarves out of the one cake, and they both looked fantastic, and I've just got a little bit of cotton left. Not enough to make another one, but that's okay. But you can use whatever cotton you have available. Just make sure you're using the corresponding sized hook. So for me, I used a 5mm for this one. But if your cotton suggests you need a 4 or a 4.5, then go ahead and use that and just use whatever you have available to you. Okay, so let's pop this out of the way and get started. Move that over there. So I picked this particular cotton up while I was up at the Bendigo Wool Mills during my last visit. If you haven't seen that video, definitely check that out. It's a lot of fun. I was up there for my birthday and had a great time. Okay, so to start this headscarf, you need to be able to make a magic circle. There are many different ways to do that. There are a lot of tutorials on YouTube about how to make a magic circle. I'll show you the way that I know, just so you have a reference point. But again, if this doesn't work for you, you could always chain 4 and slip stitch back into the first stitch, and that will work as your ring. But for me, I'll show you how I do mine. This is just how I learnt. So again, there's many different ways of making a magic circle. You can choose to do it however you know how. So again, magic circle, wrapped around those 2 fingers, crossing across the back there. hold the yarn in place, grab your hook, go under the first one, over the next one, grab that and pull it through, twist it back up, go back under and pick that up again and pull that through that loop. And there's your magic ring. Just tighten that up so you've got, it's a little bit tighter. Okay. So from here we chain 3. 1, 2, 3. And this first chain 3 does count as your first double crochet. So yarn over, go into the ring, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through the first 2 loops, yarn over, pull through the next 2. And there's your first double crochet, technically your second. So you've got 2 there. Do it again, yarn over, into the ring, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through the first 2 loops, yarn over, pull through the next 2. And there's 3. Chain 2, 1, 2, and make another 3 double crochet in that same ring. Yarn over, into the ring, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through the first 2 loops, yarn over, pull through the next 2. And again, yarn over, into the loop, into the ring, sorry, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through the first 2, and yarn over, pull through the next 2. So now you've got 5 double crochet, yarn over, into the ring, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. And there you've got your 3 double crochet, your chain 2, and your 3 double crochet. So you can go ahead and tighten that magic ring. And it should be looking like this. So for the next row, chain 3, 1, 2, 3, turn your work, and in this very first stitch here, make another 2 double crochets. So yarn over, into the loop, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, and one more, yarn over into the same stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, and there's your 3 double crochet in the 1 stitch. Now we're going to skip these 3 stitches and go into the chain space that we have here, and we're going to do 3 double crochet, chain 2, 3 double crochet. So yarn over into the chain space, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, just get some more yarn. Okay, yarn over into the chain space, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. That's 2. Yarn over into the chain space, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over, pull through 2. There's your 3 double crochet, chain 2, 1, 2, and put your next 3 double crochet in the same chain space. So yarn over, here we go again, pull through 2, pull through 2, yarn over into the chain space, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, there's 2, yarn over into the chain space, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, and there's your 3 double crochet, your chain 2, and your 3 double crochet. Now we go to the last stitch, or the very first one from the last row. So you're going to the last stitch here, and we're going to put 3 double crochet in this final stitch here. So yarn over into that stitch, This is always the tricky bit. Yarn over, pull that through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Into the same stitch again, yarn over, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Once more, into the same stitch, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. And at the end of your second row, should be looking like this. You should have 1, 2 clusters, 1, 2 here, and 1, 2 here. So whenever you do 3 double crochets in a group in the one stitch or in the one chain space, that's a cluster. So you should have 2 clusters here and 2 clusters here. So for the next row, we chain 3, 2, 3, turn your work, and once again put 2 more double crochets back into that first stitch. So yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. That's your second one. Yarn over, in you go, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over, pull through 2. So remember, the chain 3 counts as your double crochet, as your first double crochet. So you put 2 more in and there's your first cluster. So the next cluster goes into the chain space here, and we do 3 double crochet in that chain space there. So yarn over into the chain space, pull up a loop, pull through 2, pull through 2, and again, pull through 2, pull through 2, and again, pull through 2, pull through 2. There's our next cluster. And now the next cluster goes into this corner space down here. So again, we go 3 double crochet, chain 2, 3 double crochet. So yarn over and you go. There's 1 double crochet. There's the second. And the third. Now we chain 2 and back into the same chain space for the next 3 double crochet. That's 2. And that's 3. So your corner spaces should be looking like this. 3 double crochet, the chain 2 space, and the 3 double crochet. So the next step is to go into the next chain space with another 3 double crochet. So let's do that now. Pull through, that's 1. That's 2. And that's 3. So then the next space again, we go into the last stitch, or the third in the chain 3, third stitch in your chain 3 from back here. And we go into that stitch with 3 double crochet. One, into the same stitch, 2, and the last one, same stitch, and 3. So at the end of round 3, here's what your scarf is looking like. So this time you should have 3 clusters on each side. 1, 2, 3, the middle space, 1, 2, 3 on the other side. So again, chain 3, and we'll get started on row 4. 1, 2, 3. Turn your work. Just need to grab some more cotton. The yarn just will not stay free for me to use. Okay. So, start of the row, first 2 DCs go into that first stitch. So we're basically making this first cluster in this first stitch. So 2 more double crochets we go, in we go. 1 and back into the same stitch. 2, and remembering the chain 3 counts as a double, so there's your first cluster. Over to the chain space with, that's right, 3 more double crochets. So here we go. 1, 2, pull through, and number 3, pull through. There's another cluster. Next chain space, 3 double crochet. So I think you can see the pattern that is forming as we progress through this headscarf. As I said, it is perfect for a beginner. It is mainly just double crochets. There are some slip stitches along the way and a couple of single crochets, and that's about it. So it's quite a great project for somebody that's an intermediate crocheter who just wants something to do for the afternoon or wants a quick and easy project to use up some scrap yarn. And it's perfect for a beginner to practice their double crochets and to repeat these stitches so that they're able to retain that information. It's just a great little project for all those sorts of things. Okay, so we're back to the middle again. So remember, we do 3 double crochet, chain 2, and 3 double crochet. So let's do that. One, 2, 3, chain 2, and 3 double crochet. 1, 2, and 3. There's our corner. Into the next chain space we go with another 3 double crochet. 2, and 3. And then again into the next chain space with another cluster, another 3 double crochet. Let me just grab some more yarn. Need a little yarn spindle so I can just keep pulling the yarn through without having to destroy this beautiful little ball. Okay. So another 3 double crochet in the next chain space. 1, 2, and 3. And then again, the final 3 go into the top of the chain 3 that we did originally. Okay, so last cluster in that top of the chain 3. So 1 double crochet in that same stitch. second double crochet, and one more. There's your third double crochet. And that completes row 4. So by the end of row 4, your scarf should be looking like this. So you should now have 1, 2, 3, 4 clusters down each side. 1, 2, 3, 4. So you just continue that pattern until you have 14 rows. So we've done the first 4. So just remember, you chain 3, turn your work, and put 2 more double crochets in that first stitch to make your first cluster. Then you work in the chain spaces doing 3 double crochet, 3 double crochet, 3 double crochet until you get to the corner stitch or the corner chain space. And in the corner chain space, you do 3 double crochet, chain 2, 3 double crochet. And then you continue with the 3 double crochets in the chain spaces. And then you put the last 3 double crochets into the top of the chain 3. And then what do? That's right. You chain 3, turn your work, and put 2 more double crochets in that first stitch and work in all the chain spaces till you get to the corner. And that's the pattern to continue until you've done 14 rows. So if you continue on like that, I'll get back to you on the 14th row and show you where to go from there. Good luck, guys. Okay, welcome back. If everything's gone according to plan and everything's worked out for you, then your headscarf should be looking something like this. I'll just show you on the other camera. So you should have 14 rows evenly spaced in through the chain spaces. And it should be roughly that size. Let's have a look at how big that is. Again, this is gonna alter depending on what type of cotton or what type of material you're using. But from the middle down, we're at about 8.5 inches roughly from the top to the bottom of the middle. And about 16 and a half, almost 17 inches across. So that's roughly the size we're looking at. Again, that's gonna alter if you're using thicker wool or if you're using a smaller hook size. So don't worry too much if it's not exactly the same measurements, but approximately that size is what we're looking for. Now, if your headscarf isn't looking like this, or it looks a little bit wonky, or maybe the corners are off, or something just doesn't quite look right, by all means, let me know in the comments and I'll do everything I can to give you a hand. So the next step will be to work on the shell edging. So we're going to be working into these chain spaces and putting the clusters, the next set of clusters in through the chain spaces with a slip stitch in between. So let's get started. Okay. So we've just finished the end of row 14. So to complete that, we just chain 1 and turn our work. Now normally we start working in the very first stitch of the row, but to do the edging we're going to skip that first stitch. We're going to slip stitch into the middle stitch, that second stitch there. So straight into the stitch, pull up a loop and pull that through, and pull that through that first loop there. So there's our first slip stitch. Now into the chain space here, we're going to place 5 double crochets. So in we go, pull up a loop, pull through 2, pull through 2, in we go again, pull through 2, pull through 2, that's 2, in again, 3, 4, and one more. That's 5 double crochets. The next step is to skip a stitch and slip stitch into the middle of that cluster. So you can see the 1, 2, 3 double crochets there. Slip stitch into the top of the middle or second double crochet. So again, in through both loops of the stitch, pull up the loop and pull that loop through the loop that's on your hook. And there's your slip stitch. Again, 5 double crochets into the chain space. So here we go, yarn over, in we go. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That one didn't want to go through. And 5. So there's our 5 double crochets in that same chain space. And to close that off, slip stitch into the top of the second double crochet of the next cluster. In through there. Pull that through and pull that through the loop on your hook. And another 5 double crochets into the chain space. And we just continue that all the way down the side until we get to the middle. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 double crochets, slip stitch into that middle double crochet. Okay, continue that pattern all the way along the side here. So I'll bring you back when we get down to the corner in the middle of the scarf. So I'm up to my last cluster here. So do the 5 double crochets in the last chain space before the corner. 2, 3, 4, 5. So again, we slip stitch into that middle stitch there, slip through there, and now in this middle, so we're at the middle of the scarf now. In this middle chain space, we're going to put 7 double crochets. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Just get that eyelash off there. And you can see that it's a much bigger fan around there, or bigger shell really. It's a shell. What we're doing is technically the shell stitch. So as you can see along the edge there, we've got all these beautiful little shells along the edge of our scarf. And the one in the middle is just slightly bigger to go around the corner. So we've done the 7 double crochets there and 5 in each chain space along the side. So now along this side we continue that same pattern. So the next step here is to do the slip stitch in the middle stitch of the middle cluster. Slip stitch, pull that through, and continue back with our 5 double crochets in the chain spaces along here. Again, if you're having any issues at all or you have any questions for me about this pattern, if something doesn't quite look right on your scarf, please just let me know in the comments and I'll do what I can to help to address it. And hopefully that'll get you back on the right track. Okay, so I'm at my last chain space. So I'll finish that last cluster. So in we go, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. It's my last cluster. And now the last slip stitch, which will go in the second to last, so this one here, and slip stitch. Okay, so your edges should be looking like this all the way along. There's your corner in the middle there, and there's the other side. Now, if you've managed to do all of that, then pat yourself on the back for a job well done. That's fantastic. So you've done all the edging all along this side, down to the middle, and all to the other side. So good job, guys. You're doing really well. So we're almost done. Okay, so the next step from here. Next step is to attach the hair ties. So on the other headscarf, we're about to start the ties. So this is obviously what you use to tie your headscarf onto your noggin. So we're about to start these now. So the plan is to do the first tie, get to the end, turn around, come back, and then we single crochet across the top there, all along that flat side of the headscarf, and then we add the other tie. So let me show you how to do that. So you've done your slip stitch. So the next step is to chain 61 chains. So make sure you count that out because it is easy to miscount and end up with a shorter or much longer hair tie. So make sure you count as you go. Halfway there. And 61 to finish. So your tie should be approximately that long. And to go back, we just slip stitch into each stitch, starting from the second one from the hook. So in we go, pull that through and slip stitch. Next one, pull it through and slip stitch. And we do that all the way along the tie until we get back to the headscarf. So for each stitch, we go in, pull it through, slip into the next one. Pull it through and slip. And that's a slip stitch. So we do that all the way down the length of the tie. And I'll get back to you once we're back at the headscarf. Okay, so I've just got my last few slip stitches to go. So work them through there and the last one. Okay, so that was my last slip stitch. So now we're back at the bandana. So the next step is to single crochet all across this flat edge here, just to tidy it up a little bit. Now there's no stitches for you to put your single crochet in, so you just evenly space them out as much as you can, and that just helps to make this flat edge look a little bit neater and a little bit more finished. So again, just place your single crochets where you can and just try to evenly space them out. So for those of you who don't know what a single crochet is, insert the hook into the stitch, yarn over and pull through, and then yarn over and pull through both loops on your hook. So just continue to do that all the way across this flat edge here. Just place them as evenly as you can. Again, there's no rhyme or reason for where the stitches need to go. Just do your best to make them as evenly spaced as possible. And that just helps the front of the scarf to have a nice finished edge. And it just makes it all look a little bit neater. So just work your way across. Just space them out as evenly as you can all the way across. And when you get to the middle, you can actually work over that tail. If you still have that tail from your magic circle, if you work across that and just tuck that into your work with your single crochet, you won't have to weave that in later. And that's just a nice little bonus there. So single crochet all the way across that top edge there till we get to the other side. And then I'll show you how to add the next tie on the other side. So I'll see you soon. Okay, so almost to the end. So if you're still with me, you're doing a wonderful job. Look how far you've come. Look at everything that you've done already. You've done all the edging, you've done one of the ties, you've done across the top there. I know that was a tricky one because there weren't any actual stitches for you to work into. So if you've done that, then good job, you're doing a great job. So now we just need the other tie to finish it all off. So I'm just finishing my last single crochets across here, and now I'm back at that corner. So we go into this first stitch here, and where we slip stitch that back into there. And what was the next step? That's right, we chained 61. So don't forget to count as you're working, and when you get to 61, I'll bring you back in. Okay, so you've chained 61. So you know what to do, guys. That's right, you've got to slip stitch all the way back down to the bandana. But guess what? Once you've done that, you're done. So let's get to it. Now remember, start from the second chain from the hook. Don't go into this first one, go into the second one. So remember, in, pull up a loop, pull that loop through that one. And on you go. Okay, I'll meet you back at the end. Okay, bringing you back for the last couple of slip stitches. I've got 2 more to go. One in there. One in there. And then slip stitch back into the bandana itself. And then you can cut your yarn and fasten off because you are done. And look at what you made. Look at what you've just done. Isn't that amazing? You've just made this beautiful headscarf. You've done all the edging. You've done all the edging along here. You've done all the slip stitches for the tie-ins. You've learnt shell stitch. You've learnt slip stitch, single crochet, double crochet. You chained. What an amazing headscarf. It's just beautiful and it is so light. Look at the drape on that, being a cotton is just so light. This is perfect for summer. It's if you make it with an acrylic or a wool blend, it would keep you warm in winter. It's so versatile. You can make it with so many different cottons and different fibers just to suit you. You could make it in Halloween colors. There's so many things you could do with this, and it's just a nice, easy project for an intermediate crocheter to work on in the afternoon, or for a beginner to practice their stitches. Thank you so much for watching. I hope I did okay. Again, this was my first tutorial, so if I went a little bit fast or I skipped over a few things, by all means let me know. Give me that feedback in the comments so that I can learn to get better at this, and that'll make me feel a lot better that I know that I'm actually helping you. That would be great. Thank you so much to the people that requested this tutorial. For Angela and Kerry and Karen and all the other people that requested this, thank you so much. You gave me the courage to get out there and give it a go. And I hope I did you proud. Thank you everybody for watching. I really appreciate it, and I hope this helped you. Enjoy the rest of your day, everyone. Thanks for watching. Bye.